Chosen one, listen closely. This is not just another message drifting through the noise of this world. This is for you, directly, urgently, unmistakably. You are not ordinary, and deep down you've always known it. From the time you were a child, you carried a light that others could not name, a fire that could not be explained, and because of that, life has never been simple for you. You are the one who feels the shadows stare when you walk into a room. You are the one who knows what it's like to stand alone in a crowd. You are the one marked by heaven in a generation that is stumbling in darkness. The call upon your life is not small, it is not casual, it is not convenient, it is costly. Carrying light in this kind of world demands a price, and though many admire the glow of your spirit, few understand what it costs to carry it. That's why you've been misunderstood, rejected, and even attacked, not because of who you are in the natural, but because of what you carry in the spiritual. This message today is not meant to flatter you, it is meant to awaken you. You've been asking why your path feels heavier than others. You've wondered why your heart feels stretched between compassion and exhaustion, why you carry burdens that others don't even notice. And here is the truth. Your light exposes what others would rather keep hidden. Your presence shifts atmospheres, confronts lies, and unsettles the spirits of those who have grown comfortable in the dark. That kind of calling is never free. But listen to me carefully, though there are costs, there are also treasures. Though there are hidden battles, there are also hidden victories. Though you have cried in silence, there is a crown waiting that only you can wear. Before this message is done, you will understand not only the 9 hidden costs of carrying light in a dark generation, but also the 9-fold blessings attached to each one. Heaven does not take your struggle lightly, and every tear you have shed is a seed that will bloom in its time. Chosen one, this is your reminder. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out, to be a flame in a cold and shadowed season. The world may not applaud you, but heaven has already written your name into eternity's story. What you carry is too rare to be wasted, too costly to be hidden, too powerful to be denied. And in this message, the veil will be lifted. You will see the truth about your journey and why everything you have faced was not random, but preparation. Prepare yourself. What is about to be revealed will shift the way you see your own life forever. What you are carrying is not something you manufactured on your own. It is not the product of your ambition or the result of random chance. It has always been divine. The source of your light is older than the stars, deeper than the oceans, stronger than the storms that have tried to break you. You were marked long before you even understood the word calling. You were written into a story authored by God Himself, and it is by His hand that you shine in a time where so many are losing their way. The weight you feel, the sense of being set apart, comes from that higher authority. Heaven has always had its eye on you. Even in the years you stumbled, even in the moments when you thought you were forgotten, you were being prepared. Every season of silence was not abandonment, but alignment. Every setback was a hidden strategy, shaping you into the vessel you now are. Nothing has been wasted, not a single night of wrestling, not a single prayer whispered through tears. Understand this. Your journey is not the result of coincidence. It is prophecy unfolding. And prophecy never speaks softly. It carries thunder in its bones and fire in its breath. That is why you have felt the tremors in your spirit, those unshakable impressions that you are part of something far greater than what meets the eye. You have sensed the invisible currents pulling you, guiding you, demanding that you rise when everything around you says, "Stay down." There is a divine appointment on your life. The message you are hearing right now is not a random encounter. It is evidence of that appointment. You were meant to hear these words at this exact moment, because heaven has declared a shift over you. The veil between the natural and the spiritual is thinning, and you are being summoned into clarity. And yes, the costs of carrying light will become clearer as this journey unfolds. But do not mistake cost for punishment. The fire refining you is not here to destroy you, but to prove the authenticity of what you carry. Think of gold being placed in the furnace. It does not lose its value. It reveals its purity. In the same way, the trials that have pressed against you are not signs of weakness. They are confirmations that you are bearing something real, something that darkness cannot counterfeit. There is a reason why people either draw near to you with reverence or recoil from you in discomfort. There is a reason why your very presence can disrupt falsehoods and expose hidden motives. It is because you are walking with the imprint of heaven upon your spirit. And that imprint did not come from your striving. It came from the breath of God Himself, who declared over you, "You are mine, and I will be glorified through you." So, as this message deepens, let your heart be steady. You are not being prepared for small things, but for eternal things. What is coming next is not just information, it is revelation. A prophecy is about to be unveiled, and it will make sense of the mystery that has surrounded your path. You will see why the weight has been heavy, why the nights have been long, and why your light has been both a gift and a target. The revelation that has been circling over your life is ready to be spoken, and once you hear it, you will not be able to return to who you were before. The prophecy is this: your light is meant to disrupt cycles that have held generations in chains. You were not sent here merely to survive, to exist quietly until your time is finished. You were sent here as a breaker, one who shatters the patterns of darkness that have gone unchallenged for far too long. The storms you've endured, the betrayals you've carried, the nights when despair whispered that you were alone, these were never random. They were all signs that you were walking in territory that darkness wanted to keep. That is why the resistance was so intense, because your presence is a threat to everything false. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but in the unseen realm, your life has been like a torch blazing in forbidden territory. This is why you've felt pressed on every side. You've been walking with a fire that burns through lies. The prophecy over you declares that the very things that once tried to drown you will now become testimonies of your rising. Every valley you walked through was a rehearsal for the authority you now carry, and every shadow that tried to consume you has only highlighted how bright your light has become. The message of heaven is simple yet weighty. You are called to carry light in a generation addicted to darkness, and light is never neutral, it divides. It separates truth from lies, clarity from confusion, courage from fear. That is why your path has often felt like a lonely one. Few are willing to stand in such clarity because it demands too much honesty, too much sacrifice. But the prophecy insists, you will not only endure, you will triumph. There will come moments when the cost feels unbearable. You will see people you love turn away because they cannot handle the brightness of your truth. You will feel doors close because your spirit refuses to compromise for acceptance. But every loss is a seed. Every rejection will make room for divine connections that carry eternal weight. Heaven has already arranged encounters, alignments, and breakthroughs that your obedience will unlock. And here is the part you must understand. The prophecy is not promising ease, but it is promising impact. Your light will expose corruption. Your presence will awaken sleepers. Your very existence will become a signpost, pointing people back to the God who placed His fire in you. And because of this, your life will not go unnoticed. You will find yourself walking in places you never thought you belonged, speaking words that echo beyond your own strength, carrying authority that feels far greater than anything you could have earned. But with this prophecy comes the warning. Light attracts what is hungry for truth, but it also draws what is desperate to destroy it. Just as a flame draws moths, your light will draw attention both divine and demonic. You must not be surprised when envy rises against you, when false accusations come, when your character is tested under pressure. These are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that you are exactly where heaven said you would be. And so the prophecy unfolds like a two-edged sword. Great blessing, yes, but also great testing. You are destined to walk through both. Yet the word of the Lord is this: you will not be crushed. You will not be forsaken. You will not be defeated. What is forming inside you is stronger than the forces trying to silence you. The very struggles that sought to end you will become the platform where God reveals His glory through you. So when you hear these words, let your heart receive them as both confirmation and command. The confirmation: you were not mistaken about your calling. The command: do not shrink back when the pressure intensifies. Stand, for in standing you fulfill what has been written of you. The prophecy is not about a distant future, it is about now. Your life is already unfolding in alignment with what heaven declared. And though the path is narrow and steep, the end is certain. You will carry light that transforms everything it touches. If prophecy is the declaration, then meaning is the root. Without understanding the depth, the weight of the word can feel overwhelming. So lean in now, because the Spirit is ready to reveal why your journey has unfolded as it has, and why the light you carry comes with such cost. Light has always been more than a metaphor. It is the essence of divine truth, the unveiling of reality as it truly island. In the beginning, when God spoke, "Let there be light," it was more than the dawn of creation. It was the establishment of order, clarity, and direction. Every time you stand in your truth, every time you refuse to bend to darkness, you echo that first command. You become a living repetition of those original words, "Let there be light." And yet, what many fail to see is that light always reveals. It cannot help but expose what has been hidden. That is why your path has carried resistance. People do not always hate you for who you are. They are uncomfortable with what is revealed in your presence. Your light unmasks deception. It uncovers false motives. It shines into the shadows where compromise has lived undisturbed. Think of yourself as a lantern carried through a storm. The winds howl, the rains fall, the darkness presses in, but the flame inside refuses to die. The more the storm rages, the more visible your glow becomes. This is why your struggles have been so intense. Storms have been sent not to test your weakness, but to prove your endurance. A lantern that only shines in perfect weather is never truly tested, but the one that shines in the storm proves it carries something real. The deeper meaning of your trials is this: you are being conformed into a vessel that can carry light without being consumed by it. Many crave influence, visibility, and spiritual authority, but few can bear the hidden costs. That is why your process has been slow, painful, and sometimes lonely. God has been stretching your character to match the weight of your calling. He has been pruning away what cannot last, burning off what cannot endure, shaping you into someone who can walk into darkness and not become it. And here is another truth: light not only exposes, it guides. Think of travelers in the night. They do not look for perfection, they look for direction. Your life, in its honesty and resilience, becomes that signal for others. Every time you rise after being struck down, every time you forgive when you could have cursed, every time you keep faith when despair whispers, it becomes a beacon. Others see it, even when they never tell you. And they are drawn to that courage, because it shows them another way is possible. So when you feel invisible, remember, light never goes unnoticed. Even a small flame is seen from a great distance in the dark. You may not hear applause, but the impact of your faithfulness ripples further than you imagine. Seeds are planted by your endurance that will bear fruit long after your name is forgotten. Seasons too carry meaning here. Light has its times: sunrise, noon, sunset, and so do you. There have been seasons when your light seemed hidden, buried under heaviness. But those were nights designed for rest, for growth, for the unseen strengthening of your roots. The dawn always comes again, and when it does, the light returns brighter, fiercer, more necessary. You have walked through long nights, but the cycle is shifting. What has been concealed will soon be revealed. Do not mistake these costs as curses. They are confirmations. A door that resists being opened often guards something valuable. In the same way, the pressures you faced guard the treasure of what you carry. Each burden is evidence that you are holding something weighty. Each tear is proof that your soul is alive to heaven's call. Each rejection is a reminder that your identity cannot be defined by the opinions of others, only by the one who called you. This is the spiritual depth behind your journey. You were chosen not simply to hold light, but to embody it. To walk into spaces where compromise reigns and become a living contradiction. To endure storms not just for your own sake, but so that others may have courage to endure theirs. To carry a flame that costs you much, but saves many. So let your heart not grow weary. Every sacrifice has meaning. Every unseen battle has purpose. And every moment of endurance is building something eternal in you. For the same God who spoke light into the void is speaking through your life now. The cost is real, but so is the glory. And soon, the signs will begin to show, not just in whispers, but in undeniable confirmations that the journey has always been divinely ordered. When heaven speaks, it always leaves fingerprints. The journey of carrying light is never without signs, subtle whispers and undeniable markers that confirm you are walking exactly where you are meant to be. You may have overlooked some of them before, but now they will begin to come into focus. These confirmations are not coincidences. They are heavenly signals guiding and assuring you. One of the first signs is the way atmospheres shift when you walk into a room. You've noticed it, the sudden quiet, the nervous laughter, the change in tone. It is not about arrogance or pride. It is about presence. The light you carry confronts what is hidden, and people feel it even if they cannot name it. Some will feel comfort, others discomfort, but the shift itself is evidence that the spirit within you is alive and active. Another sign comes in the form of divine timing. Doors seem to open at the exact moment you need them, often after long seasons of silence. You may pray for years with no movement, and then suddenly, in a way no human could orchestrate, a breakthrough arrives. These suddenlies are God's signature, reminders that you are never abandoned, only aligned with His timing. Pay attention also to the dreams that refuse to let go. These are not random images. They are messages coded in the language of the Spirit. Perhaps you've seen light breaking through clouds, walking paths that unfold before your feet, or encounters with people you later meet in waking life. These prophetic impressions are not accidents. They are confirmations that heaven has been whispering to you in your sleep. You will also notice that people confess things to you they would not share with anyone else. Strangers open up, friends reveal secrets, co-workers admit struggles. Why? Because light creates safety. Your presence becomes a sanctuary where hidden burdens are brought into the open. Even when you do not seek it, this magnetism is a sign that you are carrying something more than just personality. You are carrying a divine assignment. And perhaps the most personal sign is the battle within. Have you felt the pull between giving up and rising again? That tension is not weakness, it is confirmation. The greater the calling, the sharper the inner conflict. If you were ordinary, the enemy would have left you alone. The very fact that you feel resistance so consistently is proof that you carry something worth resisting. These are the signs: shifting atmospheres, divine timing, prophetic dreams, unexpected confessions, and inner battles that refine rather than destroy. Together, they form a map pointing you toward your destiny. And the more you recognize them, the more courage you will find to keep moving forward. So do not dismiss these confirmations as strange or small. They are heaven's way of saying, yes, you are on the path. Yes, your light is real. Yes, the cost has meaning. And as you begin to recognize them, you will also be prepared for what comes next, the hidden challenges that often rise before the promise is fulfilled. Every divine assignment carries its hidden trials, and the path of carrying light is no exception. These challenges are not punishments, nor are they signs of failure. They are the refining fires, the spiritual weights that build the strength you will need to stand when others fall. If you expect them, you will endure them. If you embrace them, you will be transformed by them. One of the first hidden challenges is isolation. When your light begins to shine brighter, the crowd that once surrounded you may thin. Friends who once walked closely may distance themselves. Family members may misunderstand you. This loneliness cuts deep, but it is a sacred space designed to draw you nearer to God, who promises never to leave you. Solitude, though painful, becomes the furnace where intimacy with Him is forged. Another challenge is misunderstanding. People will interpret your actions and intentions through the lens of their own shadows. They may label your confidence as pride, your discernment as judgment, your silence as arrogance. And though it stings, remember, they are reacting not to your heart, but to the light you carry. Misunderstanding is the enemy's attempt to discredit you, but heaven will vindicate you in time. A third challenge comes in the form of relentless opposition. When you stand for truth, lies will rise against you. When you step into new levels of faith, resistance will meet you. Sometimes it will come through circumstances, doors that refuse to open, systems that seem rigged against you. Other times it will come through people, false accusations, betrayal, or envy. But do not be alarmed. Pressure is proof of progress. Resistance is confirmation of movement. You may also face the subtle challenge of weariness. Carrying light in a dark generation is exhausting. You pour, you give, you encourage, you fight unseen battles, and sometimes your own soul grows tired. It feels tempting to dim your glow just to rest, to withdraw so the world cannot keep demanding from you. Yet even here, God whispers that His strength is made perfect in weakness. He will sustain you when your oil runs low, and He will refill what life has drained. And perhaps the deepest challenge is self-doubt. Even as signs confirm your calling, a voice inside may question, am I truly chosen? Am I strong enough for this? These thoughts are not the truth. They are arrows of doubt meant to weaken your resolve. But here is the reality. The very fact that you wrestle with these questions proves your authenticity. Pretenders do not doubt. Only the genuine soul feels the weight of responsibility. These challenges, loneliness, misunderstanding, opposition, weariness, and self-doubt, are part of the cost of carrying light. But they are not designed to break you. They are designed to purify, to strip away reliance on anything but God, to sharpen you until you reflect His brilliance more clearly. So when the hidden challenges come, do not despair. Lift your eyes and remember, every burden you bear is a sign that you are carrying something worth guarding. And just beyond these trials lies the instruction, the divine blueprint that will show you how to walk this path with authority and peace. Now that the prophecy has been unveiled, the meaning revealed, and the challenges exposed, it is time to receive the instruction. Because what good is light if it is not stewarded wisely? What good is calling if it is not matched with obedience? This is the point where the path turns from revelation into responsibility. You are not simply meant to carry light, you are meant to carry it with intentionality, with focus, with sacred discipline. The first instruction is simple yet profound. Guard your heart. Everything flows from it. If bitterness seeps in, your light dims. If pride creeps in, your flame flickers. Guarding your heart does not mean building walls of suspicion. It means filtering what enters your spirit. Be discerning about the voices you listen to, the atmospheres you allow yourself to dwell in, and the people who have access to your inner circle. Not everyone deserves proximity to your flame. The second instruction: remain anchored in prayer. Prayer is not ritual, it is oxygen. Without it, your flame suffocates. Prayer keeps you aligned with heaven's frequency, tuned to the whispers of the Spirit. Some days your words will be many, other days they will be sighs too deep for language. Both are heard. Both sustain you. Make prayer less of an obligation and more of a constant atmosphere, a rhythm of communion with the one who fuels your light. The third instruction: immerse yourself in the Word. Scripture is both sword and seed. It cuts through lies, and it plants truth that grows into strength. In times of confusion, it becomes your compass. In times of attack, it becomes your shield. Do not only read it, Let it read you. Allow the words to expose your motives, to correct your path, to fill you with clarity. The word is the oil that keeps your lamp burning. Fourth, embrace stillness. In a world obsessed with noise, stillness becomes your secret weapon. Take time to withdraw, to let silence cleanse you. In stillness, you will hear what busyness tries to drown out. In stillness, you will be reminded that the light you carry is not your own effort, it is God's gift. Rest is not laziness, it is alignment. It ensures you are not carrying yesterday's strength into tomorrow's battle. Fifth, walk in humility. Light is powerful, but it is not yours to boast about. Remember always that the flame within you was entrusted, not earned. Humility keeps you from mistaking yourself for the source. It keeps you grounded when praise comes and steady when criticism rises. To walk humbly is to recognize that your role is to reflect, not to replace, the glory of the one who sent you. And sixth, act with courage. Revelation without action is wasted. You cannot carry light and hide it under fear. Every opportunity to stand for truth, every chance to bring comfort, every open door to speak life, take it. Courage is not the absence of trembling, it is the decision to move forward, even while trembling. Step boldly, because heaven backs every act of faith you take. Together, these instructions form a blueprint. Guard your heart, anchor in prayer, immerse in the word, embrace stillness, walk humbly, and act courageously. Each is not a suggestion, it is a survival strategy. Without them, the pressures of darkness will try to snuff you out. With them, your flame will not only endure, it will expand. And hear this clearly. The urgency is real. These instructions are not for later, not for when you feel ready, not for when life is calmer. They are for now. The battle is already underway. The assignments against you are already active, but so are the promises for you. What you do now determines the measure of what unfolds next. So take this seriously. Heaven has given you tools, and it is your responsibility to use them. This is not a time for half measures or hesitation. This is a time to live intentionally, to walk faithfully, to carry your flame as though the fate of others depends on it, because in many ways it does. Obedience to this instruction will unlock the next layer of your journey, and as you step into it, you will begin to see another reality unfold. You are not walking alone. Protection surrounds you, even when you cannot see it. As you take these instructions to heart, you must also remember this truth. You are not being sent unguarded into the battle. You are not walking through the darkness with only your own strength. Divine protection surrounds you, even in the moments you feel most vulnerable. What you cannot see with your eyes is more real than the shadows pressing against you. Think of the unseen shield that has carried you this far. There were accidents that never happened, betrayals that were exposed before they could destroy you, nights when despair whispered louder than hope, but somehow you made it through. These were not coincidences. They were the evidence of a hand covering you, angels dispatched on your behalf, mercy wrapping around you like armor. When the enemy plotted, heaven intercepted. When words were spoken against you, they fell powerless. When darkness thought it had cornered you, light broke through in ways you could not have imagined. Even now, you are encircled. The scripture says, "As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people." That is not poetic exaggeration, it is reality. You are shielded. This does not mean the battles disappear. It means you are carried through them. Fire may come close, but it will not consume you. Waters may rise, but they will not drown you. Storms may rage, but they will not scatter you. Protection does not remove the trial. It transforms it into testimony. What was meant to break you becomes the very stage where God shows his faithfulness. You may have wondered why, after everything, you are still standing. Why your heart, though wounded, still beats with faith. Why your spirit, though weary, still refuses to quit. The reason is simple. You are held. The light you carry is not a fragile candle, easily snuffed out. It is a flame protected by the breath of God, guarded by His promise that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So walk forward with assurance. You do not need to second-guess every step or live in fear of every shadow. You are protected on the front and the back, above and below, within and around. Angels go before you to prepare the way, and the Spirit within you fortifies your every move. Let this sink deep. You are not alone. Even in your loneliest hours, heaven has been nearer than your very breath. You are being carried by a presence that does not slumber, does not forget, does not fail. And as this protection continues, it is ushering you towards something greater, the transformation you have been waiting for, the fulfillment that will prove every cost was worth it. The cost has been heavy, the battles relentless, the nights long, but none of it has been in vain. Every step, every tear, every unseen prayer has been shaping you for this transformation. What is coming is not just relief from struggle, but the unveiling of who you were always meant to be. The flame you have carried in trembling hands is about to blaze in undeniable strength. Transformation is not about becoming someone new, it is about revealing the fullness of who you already are in God's design. You will begin to see pieces of yourself that were once buried under pain rise to the surface with clarity. Courage will no longer feel borrowed, but natural. Peace will no longer be fleeting, but constant. The strength you once questioned will become the strength others draw from. And fulfillment, this is where everything begins to make sense. You will look back at seasons of loss and recognize that they were pruning, making space for greater fruit. You will revisit memories of rejection and realize they were redirections, steering you toward people and places aligned with your destiny. You will remember nights when you thought you would not survive, only to see how those nights forged a resilience that nothing can shatter. Your transformation will not be hidden. Others will notice. The very ones who doubted you will see the shift. Those who dismissed you will sense a weight of authority in your words. And those who once tried to break you will realize that breaking only multiplied your brilliance. Fulfillment does not mean the absence of struggle, but the overflow of purpose in spite of it. Picture yourself as a seed that has endured the crushing weight of soil, the cold silence of buried seasons, the storms of rain and wind. Now, the soil is breaking, the stem is rising, the bloom is unfolding. That is what this moment represents. You are stepping into visibility not for recognition's sake, but because the fruit of your endurance is ready to feed others who are starving for hope. There will be moments of awe where you pause and realize, I am not who I used to be, not because of pride, but because of gratitude. You will see that the trials which once threatened to extinguish you have instead ignited you. And you will know, deep in your soul, that the light you carry is not fragile, but eternal. This transformation is not only for you, it is for those connected to you. Your life will become a living prophecy, a testimony that inspires others to rise from their ashes, to trust that their pain is also shaping them for glory. Fulfillment spreads it, multiplies its impact. The more you embrace it, the more others are drawn into it. So let this promise settle in your spirit. You are entering a season where the costs will be outweighed by the fruit. The nights of wrestling are giving way to mornings of clarity. The heaviness you carried will be replaced by a mantle of joy, and the flame you once struggled to protect will now set entire atmospheres ablaze with hope. This is the fulfillment of the prophecy, not only that you endured, but that you were transformed, and through you, others will be transformed as well. And from here, there is only one thing left to seal it all with words of affirmation and blessing that will anchor you as you continue forward.